What do you think this person is experiencing? Is it joy? Is it fear? Is it love? This right here is a pleasure center that has been activated. This person would be experiencing a rush of dopamine. This person could have just experienced serendipity. So what is serendipity? Serendipity is something unexpected. It's something pleasant. And so this person right here, they would have faced something that they may have never faced before. And that unexpected event would cause their brain a little bit of confusion. And with that confusion comes adaptation. With adaptation comes learning. So now you have this swirl of passion, of joy, of new knowledge, all coming together. And what do you think that's going to create? That's going to create ingenuity. That's going to create innovation. This is a mind on fire. This is a mind that has experienced serendipity. So why am I talking about this? Well, this is kind of my MO. This is how I've done a lot of things in my life, including finding my passion for sustainability and starting my company, as Jeremiah alluded to. So I actually have a background in craft beer, and someone I was dating at the time, I know, bad idea, asked me to help them with the business development side of their company. And so I started learning about all these technical processes like life cycle assessments and how we could solve these complex resource scarcity problems. And for once in my life, I felt like I was doing something really powerful, something that could really change the world. And something even more incredible happened. 6 weeks later, I brought in the company's biggest client, a $1 billion organics food company. And shortly thereafter, what do you think happened? Me and the guy I was dating, we had a falling out, and that was it. So here I am feeling really upset that I had this wonderful avenue, this new outlet that I had found, and now I had nowhere to go with it. And even worse, he's like, yeah, you know, that commission check, you're not getting it. Oof, bad breakup. So I'm sitting here wondering how my life has become almost like an episode of Jerry Springer. And I'm feeling really down when I get a call from one of the other engineers, Ben, who I'd grown close with. We were actually working remote. And Ben's like, Michelle, I've got a better team. I've got a team of engineers who've worked with Tyson. They work with Smithsonian. And they're great. But you know what? They're engineers, and they don't like to talk to people. Right? So we want you to come on board to do the business development of our company. And that's how my company was formed. Pretty amazing. So I thought, what if we could capture this mind on fire phenomenon? What if we could study behavior and psychology and create a replicable formula that anybody here in this room could implement? And so that's what I did. I did tons of interviews, which was actually one of the most exciting things about prepping for this talk today, was hearing these incredible stories of people's own personal serendipity. Something small, like a great idea or a realization they had about their life, like what they wanted to do, or something huge, like my aunt, who introduced my cousin to his wife, who she had met on the airplane. And so this is the formula: curiosity, mission, and network over self-interest. So let's start with curiosity. We talked a little bit about curiosity before. This is having that insatiable creativity. This is taking risks and being willing to fail. There is no success without failure. And you often hear companies say, we need to fail fast and we need to fail often. That is a company that is curious, that is hungry, that will explore. There's no such really thing as a lucky invention. These are things that are tried and probably failed. One of my favorite examples of this is sildenafil. Sildenafil was originally tested for heart disease and high blood pressure. And sildenafil was ineffective, but trial participants didn't want to give it back. Well, we know sildenafil today as Viagra. So you can imagine why the participants didn't want to give it back. They're like, screw high blood pressure. This stuff is gold. So Pfizer launched this as Viagra. It was one of the most successful prescription launches of all time. So this is a great example of how taking a risk can result in what we would consider a failure, but with cognitive flexibility, we can look at this a different way, and it's actually a great success. The next part of my formula is mission. This is having passion and focus around something in your life. It doesn't need to be specific. For instance, my life mission is to create positive, measurable change. It just needs to be there. This is going to be that eye-opener that's going to put your life in hyper-focus. And all of a sudden, you're going to start drawing parallels. You're going to start seeing things that you never saw before. You're going to start having those aha moments. And that's why mission kind of can open your eyes to these things never before seen. Again, these are things that are always there, just things that we hadn't noticed that we needed a mission to find. And the final part of our numerator is networks. So I don't want to talk too much about networking. We all know how networking is important. But I want you to think less about the number of nodes in your network and instead the strength of those connections. And one of the best ways that we can do this by building a strength between these connections is with storytelling. We talked about storytelling a little bit earlier today, and stories are incredibly powerful because they show who we are as a person. They make us human. They build trust. They build vulnerability. This is how we connect in a primal way. And oftentimes when you're meeting people, you don't have a lot of time. So tell a story. And when someone tells you a story, listen. Because that's where you're going to find what they value. That's when you're going to find those areas of overlap where you relate. And finally, we have self-interest. This is our denominator because this is something that we need to minimize. The less the self-interest, the greater the serendipity. Part of this is karmic. Part of this is because you can sense people who are disingenuous. But one of my favorite examples of this is my aunt, who displayed a lot of selflessness in the summer of 1974. She was house sitting, and she got a call from this woman named Carol, and she was looking for the owner of the house's daughter. And she didn't know the number. The daughter didn't live there, and so she called the owners, and she's like, "Do you have this phone number that I could give to Carol?" And they're like, "Yeah, here's her number," but unfortunately, she didn't have a number to call Carol back. They did know where she lived, however, so my aunt took a bus and a train from Cambridge to Harvard to deliver this phone number. She went back home, everything was normal, and a few weeks later, she got a package from Carol. And inside the package was this box and a note. And the note explained that Carol was going to kill herself. She was trying to get a hold of her friend to say goodbye. But that act of selflessness, that raw human selflessness, showed her that there was still light, that there was still hope, that someone cared for her. And so by showing self-interest, my aunt had the most serendipitous thing that could have happened. She saved a life. So I want to challenge you to implement this formula into your life. Make this a lifestyle, something that you incorporate every day. Curiosity, mission, networks, with minimal self-interest. This is how we create serendipity. This is how you set your mind on fire. And with minds on fire, we can set the world ablaze. Thank you.